Zara had traveled through 17 different star systems before she found them. The humans were nothing like what her species had expected when they first detected the radio signals from the small blue planet orbiting a yellow star. Her sleek, silver ship drifted silently above Earth while she studied the strange beings below. Through her advanced sensors, she watched them build towering cities that scraped the sky, create machines that soared through the air, and communicate across vast distances in mere seconds. What fascinated her most was how they never seemed to give up. The Vorthak Empire had sent her as a scout to evaluate this new species for potential conquest. Her people were ancient and powerful with technology that could reshape planets and weapons that could shatter moons. Yet something about these humans made her hesitate. She decided to land near a small town called Millbrook, where she could observe them more closely. Zara activated her biological disguise system and stepped out of her ship. Her natural blue skin shifted to a pale human tone. Her elongated limbs shortened, and her large violet eyes became a common brown. Her species had perfected this art over millennia of conquest. The first human she encountered was fixing a broken machine beside a dusty road. He had dark hair and kind eyes that reminded her of her homeworld's twin sons. His name was Luke, and he worked with his hands building and repairing things that helped his community. Luke noticed her standing by the roadside looking lost in clothes that did not quite fit right. He approached with caution but offered help. She claimed to be a traveler whose vehicle had broken down somewhere up the mountain. Luke did not hesitate to offer assistance even though she was clearly a stranger. What struck Zara immediately was his lack of fear. Most species her people encountered either cowered in terror or attacked with desperate fury. But Luke simply saw someone who needed help and acted. Accordingly, this puzzled her greatly. Over the following days, she stayed in the small town learning about human behavior. Luke introduced her to his sister Amy, who ran a small cafe that served food to travelers. Amy welcomed Zara without question, offering her work and a place to stay despite knowing nothing about her background. The humans impressed Zara with their resilience. She watched them face challenges that would crush other species, yet they adapted and overcame with remarkable creativity. When drought threatened their crops, they found new ways to conserve water. When storms damaged their buildings, they rebuilt them stronger than before. She observed a young mother named Lisa who worked 3 jobs to support her children while also caring for her elderly father. The woman never complained about her hardships and always found time to help her neighbors. Zara had never seen such determination in any species across the galaxy, but it was their capacity for hope that truly amazed her. During her 3rd week in Millbrook, a terrible accident occurred at the local mine. Several workers were trapped deep underground with little chance of rescue. The entire community mobilized immediately. Luke organized rescue teams that worked around the clock digging through collapsed tunnels. Amy and other women prepared food and medical supplies for the volunteers. Lisa coordinated communication between families and rescue workers. Even children contributed by running messages and bringing water to the exhausted adults. The rescue took 4 days and nights. During this time, Zara watched these humans push themselves beyond what should have been possible. They ignored their own fatigue, hunger, and fear because lives depended on their efforts. When others said the trapped miners were probably dead, they refused to give up hope. On the 4th night, Luke collapsed from exhaustion after digging for 18 straight hours. Zara found herself caring for him, bringing water, and forcing him to rest. She realized something was happening to her that her species had never experienced before. She was beginning to care about individual beings rather than seeing them as mere specimens. The miners were successfully rescued, all 7 of them alive though injured. The celebration that followed revealed another aspect of human nature that fascinated Zara. They did not celebrate their own heroism, but instead focused on caring for the survivors and their families. During the following weeks, Zara began to understand why humans had developed such remarkable traits. Their planet was harsh and unforgiving, with natural disasters, extreme weather, and dangerous predators. Yet instead of becoming bitter or cruel, these challenges had forged them into something extraordinary. She learned about their history of wars and conflicts, but also discovered how they had gradually learned to cooperate across tribal and national boundaries. They had created art, music, and literature that expressed the full range of emotional experience from profound sorrow to transcendent joy. What moved her most was watching Luke work with children in the local school. He taught them to build and repair things, but more importantly, he taught them to never stop trying when faced with problems. His patience and kindness with even the most difficult students showed her a depth of character she had never imagined possible. One evening as summer turned to autumn, Zara sat with Luke on a hillside overlooking the town. He had been teaching her about human customs, and in return she had shared carefully edited stories about her travels. They watched the sunset paint the sky in brilliant colors while discussing their dreams for the future. Luke spoke about his hopes to expand his workshop and maybe start a family someday. His eyes grew distant as he talked about wanting to make the world a little better through his work. Zara realized that despite having technology that could give him anything he desired, this human found meaning in simple acts of creation and service. That night she made a decision that would change everything. She activated her communication device and sent a message back to the Vorthak fleet. The message was brief, but its implications were enormous. She told them that humans were not suitable for conquest, and that the fleet should seek other targets. Her commander responded immediately, demanding detailed tactical assessments and resource analyses. Zara provided falsified data suggesting that Earth had hidden defenses and that human resistance would be too costly to overcome. The lies came easily because she had found something worth protecting, but she knew deception would not work forever. The Vorthak Empire was patient but thorough. They would eventually send other scouts who might not be as easily convinced. Zara realized she would have to find another way to protect the humans she had come to admire. Over the winter months she began subtly introducing advanced concepts to Luke and others in the community. She disguised these as theoretical discussions about engineering and science, but gradually she was sharing knowledge that could accelerate human technological development. By decades, Luke proved to be a quick learner with an intuitive grasp of principles that took most species centuries to master. Amy showed similar aptitude for biological and medical applications, while Lisa demonstrated remarkable organizational skills that could revolutionize human social systems. Spring brought disturbing news through her encrypted communications. The Vorthak High Command had grown suspicious of her reports and decided to send a small invasion fleet to investigate Earth. Directly, the ships would arrive within 2 years, giving her little time to prepare. Zara knew she could not defeat an entire fleet even with her advanced technology, but perhaps she could give humanity the tools they needed to defend themselves. The challenge was doing so without revealing her true nature or causing panic about an alien invasion. She began working more closely with Luke, helping him develop innovations that seemed like natural human ingenuity, but were actually based on Vorthak science. She guided him toward discoveries in materials, engineering, energy systems, and communication technology. As their partnership deepened, Zara found herself falling in love not just with humanity as a species, but with Luke as an individual. His combination of strength and gentleness, intelligence and humility, created feelings in her that she had never experienced. Her own people were cold and logical, focused only on conquest and dominance. Luke seemed to sense her growing emotional attachment, though he interpreted it in purely human terms. He began expressing his own feelings for her through small gestures and lingering looks that made her artificial heart race with unfamiliar sensations. One evening, as they worked late in his workshop, Luke finally spoke the words she had been both hoping and dreading to hear. He told her he loved her and wanted to build a life together. Zara felt tears streaming down her face as she realized the impossible situation she had created. She could not tell him the truth about her nature without destroying the trust they had built. Yet she could not continue living a lie with someone she had come to love more than her own existence. The weight of deception was becoming unbearable. That night, Zara made another difficult decision. She would reveal her true nature to Luke and accept whatever consequences followed. If he rejected her, she would respect his choice, but she could no longer live with the dishonesty between them. The next evening, she asked Luke to meet her at their special place on the hillside. As the stars emerged in the darkening sky, she began to tell him everything about her true identity, her mission, and the approaching danger. Her disguise slowly faded, revealing her natural blue skin and violet eyes. Luke listened in stunned silence as she explained about the Vorthak Empire and how she had originally come to Earth as a scout for Invasion She.